Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before you relax into this video, I need you to feel something first. That tightness in your chest when her name lights up your phone, that strange mix of confidence and fear, the sense that something bigger is happening beneath the surface, and you don't fully understand it. Good. Stay there with me, because what I'm about to tell you is something most men never learn until it's too late, after the opportunity is gone and she's already emotionally attached to someone else. If you want the kind of insight that gives you quiet power instead of loud desperation, take 1 second right now, subscribe, like the video, and let's step into this together. I'm speaking to you not just as a psychologist, but as a woman who understands the emotional patterns women don't openly explain. Men often think obsession looks dramatic, obvious, intense, but in reality, when a woman is secretly obsessed with you, it shows up in behaviors so subtle you might mistake them for coincidence, politeness, or friendliness. That misunderstanding is why some men miss the moment everything could have shifted in their favor. Here is the truth you were never directly told. When a woman becomes mentally preoccupied with a man, her behavior becomes strategically emotional, not emotionally loud. She doesn't chase you in the way you imagine. She studies. She adjusts. She creates emotional presence in your life without demanding space. It's not random. It's psychological investment. Obsession, in its healthy romantic form, begins in the mind long before it shows in actions you recognize. Her thoughts start orbiting you. Your reactions matter more. Your moods influence hers. Your absence becomes noticeable in ways she doesn't admit, sometimes even to herself. And the first sign this is happening is not what men expect. It's not constant texting. It's not jealousy. It's something quieter, more intelligent, and far more revealing about how deeply you've entered her emotional world. She starts remembering things you forgot you ever said. Not the big stories, not the obvious highlights, the small, throwaway details you mentioned once and never repeated. Your weird dislike for a certain food, the name of your childhood dog, that random place you said you wanted to visit someday. Weeks later, she brings it up casually, like it just crossed her mind. But it didn't just cross her mind. It stayed there. When a woman is secretly obsessed with you, her brain treats information about you like it's important data. Emotion strengthens memory. The more emotionally invested she becomes, the sharper her recall of you becomes. This isn't performance. It's attachment forming quietly under the surface. You might think, she's just a good listener. No, most people listen to respond. A woman who is mentally preoccupied with you listens to store. She's building an internal profile of who you are, your preferences, your moods, your rhythms. Because once a woman feels emotionally drawn in, understanding you feels rewarding to her, not like effort. Here's what most men miss. She's not remembering these things to impress you. She's remembering because you occupy mental real estate. You show up in her thoughts when you're not physically there. When something connects to you, her mind makes the link automatically. That's obsession in its early, healthy psychological form. Repeated, involuntary mental return to the same person. You'll notice it in the way she references your past conversations with precision. The way she asks follow-up questions about things you barely remember telling her. The way she notices changes in your tone, energy, or routine before you point them out. That level of attention is not neutral. Attention is emotional currency, and she's spending a lot of it on you. A woman doesn't do this consistently for a man she feels okay about. She does this when her mind has decided, quietly and without announcement, that you matter. And when someone matters, the brain prioritizes them, even when the heart hasn't fully confessed it yet. She creates reasons to stay connected to you that feel natural, never forced. Watch this carefully. She doesn't suddenly flood you with messages or demand your time. Instead, she sends you things that reminded her of you. A song, a meme, a random thought, an article. On the surface, it looks light, casual, almost insignificant. But psychologically, it's powerful. This is called emotional threading. When a woman is secretly obsessed, she feels a pull to keep the emotional line between you active. Silence feels like distance. Distance creates discomfort. So she keeps small interactions alive, not to chase, but to maintain presence in your world without risking rejection. She doesn't want to look like she's trying, because if she looks like she's trying and you don't match it, she feels exposed. So she chooses low-pressure touch points, easy openings, soft entries into your attention. Look what I found. This made me laugh. Random question. These aren't random. They are emotionally safe bridges. A woman who isn't thinking about you doesn't subconsciously look for excuses to reappear in your day. But when she's mentally attached, your absence creates a quiet itch. Sharing something with you scratches that itch. It gives her a small emotional hit, connection without vulnerability. Here's the deeper layer most men never see. She's testing emotional availability without asking directly. Every small interaction measures how you respond. Warm, neutral, distant? She reads into it, not dramatically, but internally. Your tone shapes how secure she feels about her growing feelings. Obsession in romance doesn't start with grand gestures. It starts with increased psychological presence. You become part of her mental environment. Things in her day link back to you automatically. That's not habit, that's attachment forming. If she keeps gently re-entering your world, even when there's no clear reason to, it's because her mind doesn't like long gaps without you in it. And when someone becomes a recurring thought pattern, emotions are already involved far deeper than words have revealed. She notices your moods before you even show them. You might brush it off as intuition or coincidence, but it's far more deliberate than you realize. A woman who's secretly obsessed with you becomes finely attuned to your emotional energy. She can tell when you're slightly off, when your confidence wavers, or when a conversation leaves a shadow behind your eyes. And here's the key. She reacts to it quietly, often subtly, without making you feel exposed. This isn't just empathy, it's psychological calibration. She's studying the rhythms of your mind and heart without labeling it study. Your smiles, your sighs, the way your voice dips slightly at certain points, they all register in her brain, storing emotional patterns that shape how she interacts with you. When she notices tension or fatigue, she may offer small, almost imperceptible gestures, a light joke to lift your mood, a carefully timed compliment, a casual message to check in. These aren't random acts of kindness. They are emotional probes, testing your state, keeping a connection alive, and subtly influencing it. Most men mistake this for simple thoughtfulness. They don't realize that someone who's invested this deeply mentally is actually building an emotional map of them. Each reaction, each pause, each laugh she elicits from you feeds the internal image she's constructing. Your internal world becomes her silent obsession, long before any overt expression of affection appears. And here's the uncomfortable truth. She's learning your vulnerabilities without making it feel invasive. That's what makes it so powerful. While you might dismiss small gestures, these moments create a quiet psychological imprint. You start to feel seen in ways you never expected. You feel a pull toward her without knowing why. This is why men often miss the signs. They think obsession is loud, aggressive, desperate. But real obsession, the kind that shifts hearts and minds, is invisible. It's precision work. She's quietly syncing with you, aligning her attention to your emotional frequency and subtly anchoring herself into your mental landscape. When you feel like someone just gets you without trying, pay attention. That connection, that uncanny sense of being understood, is rarely accidental. It's often a carefully orchestrated, subconscious obsession forming in the shadows of your daily life. She remembers your routines, your patterns, the small habits you don't even notice. You walk into a room and she already knows where you'll sit. She knows how you take your coffee, what time you usually check your phone, the exact tone you use when you're irritated versus tired. These details seem trivial, but they're not. They are pieces of a psychological puzzle she's been quietly assembling. A woman who's secretly obsessed isn't doing this consciously to impress you. She's doing it because her mind is tracking your life like it's part of her own. She's forming a mental model of you, not for control, not for manipulation, but because your presence has become essential to her thinking. Every little detail about you becomes a clue, a piece of emotional currency she can use to connect, to understand, to anticipate your needs. You might catch it when she surprises you in a subtle way, sending your favorite snack, remembering a random joke you laughed at 2 months ago, or noticing that something about your day is off before anyone else does. She's reading your world like it's a story she's desperate to understand. And the truth is, when someone occupies your mind to this level, obsession has already begun. This is why men often dismiss these signs as coincidences or politeness. They underestimate the emotional intelligence behind subtle behaviors. When a woman is emotionally invested in you, she operates like a strategist, not aggressively, but with precise attention to detail. Every small observation, every subtle memory, is a way of staying close to your inner world without forcing a presence. And here's the secret most men never grasp. She's doing all of this without needing constant validation. She doesn't require your immediate attention to feel satisfied. Your life becomes a field of observation, and her fascination is reflected in the patterns she notes and the ways she shows up just at the right moments. This silent attentiveness is far more revealing than overt flirting. It's evidence of a deep psychological preoccupation, one that quietly binds her thoughts, emotions, and intentions to you. She's obsessed in the most dangerous way. You may not even realize it's happening until the emotional bond is already solid. She subtly mirrors you, your speech, your gestures, even your energy. You might notice it in the way she laughs a certain way after you do, or how her body language unconsciously aligns with yours during conversations. Maybe she adopts similar phrases, echoes your tone, or subtly adapts her opinions to match yours. At first, it seems natural, almost coincidental, but it's not. This mirroring is one of the most powerful signs of hidden obsession, and it's happening without her needing to consciously think about it. Psychologically, humans mirror those they feel close to or are drawn toward, but when it's consistent, precise, and appears almost instinctively, it reveals more than attraction. It shows that your presence has started shaping her mental and emotional patterns. She's internalizing you in ways you likely don't notice. Here's what makes this behavior so dangerous for the unaware man. It builds unconscious comfort and trust. Every small act of alignment makes you feel understood, validated, and seen, even if you don't consciously recognize why. You start lowering your guard, revealing more of yourself, because your instincts tell you she's in sync with you. What you're really experiencing is the subtle psychological footprint of obsession. She may also mirror your emotional energy. If you're calm, she becomes calm. If you're excited, her energy spikes slightly in response. Your emotional state becomes a lever for her unconscious connection. Every reaction you have feeds her internal focus on you, strengthening the loop without a single overt declaration of feelings. Most men think obsession screams in grand gestures, constant texting, clinginess, jealousy. But the truth is that the quiet, precise obsession, the one that doesn't need to advertise itself, is far more potent. Mirroring creates familiarity and a sense of inevitability. Your presence feels safe, natural, like she was always meant to align with your world. When you notice this alignment, pay attention. It isn't coincidence. It isn't friendliness. It's a subtle psychological claim. She's wiring herself emotionally to you, and you're likely unaware of how much of her attention, energy, and mental space you now occupy. She initiates contact in ways that feel accidental, but aren't. Maybe she runs into you at the coffee shop, or texts you something that seems random, a song lyric, a quote, or a thought that made her think of you. You might tell yourself it's coincidence or casual friendliness. But here's the truth. It's calculated subconsciously. Her mind is orchestrating opportunities to reappear in your life without triggering alarm or resistance. Women who are secretly obsessed rarely reveal their attention directly. They know overt pursuit can scare a man away or make the dynamic feel forced. Instead, she engineers micro moments where your worlds intersect. These moments are emotionally charged, even if you don't realize it. They are designed to remind you of her presence, subtly pull your attention back, and deepen the psychological connection. Notice the patterns. Does she always text just after you've been quiet for a day? Does she comment on something you care about, even tangentially, at the exact moment it matters? That's no accident. Her subconscious mind is tracking your availability and emotional state, and it's choosing the perfect moments to nudge herself into your consciousness. Here's the key. She's obsessed not in an obvious, dramatic way, but in a way that creates familiarity, comfort, and emotional tension simultaneously. You start noticing her more, thinking about her more, even when she's not around. That pull is her psychological fingerprint, quietly embedding her importance into your mental landscape. And it's often reinforced by your own reactions. When you respond positively, laugh, or engage, she feels rewarded. Your attention becomes the reinforcement loop that strengthens her focus on you. That's why obsession can grow faster than you realize. It doesn't need to announce itself. It builds silently, like a gravitational force. So next time you catch a seemingly random gesture, text, or coincidental encounter, pay attention. These aren't coincidences. They are markers of a mind subtly, relentlessly tuned to yours. If you've ever wondered why some women seem to appear just when you're thinking about them, or why certain conversations feel magnetic without explanation, this is exactly what's happening. Obsession in quiet, calculated form, manifesting as connection disguised as happenstance. She gives you subtle validation, the kind you barely notice, but it sticks deep inside. It's not a loud compliment, not a dramatic declaration. It's the quiet, pointed acknowledgement of who you are, what you value, and how you move through the world. Maybe she remembers a goal you mentioned and casually asks about it weeks later. Maybe she praises a decision you made in passing. Maybe she notices your strengths that no one else seems to see. These moments feel small, even ordinary, but psychologically, they are magnetic. Here's the truth most men never grasp. Validation is emotional oxygen. And when someone gives it intentionally, unconsciously, and consistently, it creates a dependency you may not even recognize. Her obsession is hiding in these little acts. She wants you to feel understood, appreciated, and recognized, without the drama, without pressure, without overt declarations. That makes the pull almost irresistible. She does this not because she wants anything from you, at least not immediately, but because your attention, approval, and presence matter to her more than she can admit. She's investing emotionally in you silently, shaping her behavior to keep a connection alive, creating moments where you feel seen and important. Each gesture, each phrase, each look is a brick in the foundation of her hidden fixation. Notice how it feels when you're around her. Do you feel noticed in ways you don't with anyone else? Do you find yourself remembering her words, replaying her subtle gestures, thinking about her unexpectedly? That's not coincidence. That's the effect of a woman who's mentally, emotionally, and subconsciously tethered to you. The most dangerous part? You might never see it coming. She doesn't need to fight for your attention, chase you aggressively, or make her obsession obvious. It unfolds quietly, invisibly, until you realize she's already embedded herself into your life in ways you can't ignore. And when that happens, it's powerful, magnetic, and often irreversible. So if she shows these behaviors, pay attention. The subtle gestures, the mental presence, the emotional alignment, they're the hallmarks of secret obsession. And now that you know the signs, you're seeing a world most men never notice, where women quietly attach, study, and care in ways that can shift everything.